Hey YouTube, Coppersan here, and thanks for coming back to part 2 of the winners and losers of the new 6 job skills according to the MapleStory Korea players. In this server, the 6 job has already been released for a while, and I looked into what the Korean Maplers have to say about their 6 job skills. This includes their new fancy origin skill, their 4 job skill mastery and 5th job skill boosts. And just as a reminder, all classes will gain from their 6 job skills. This list mostly looks at which class is synergized best with them. And in today's video we're looking into the Nightwalker, Wind Archer, Shadower, Lara and Dark Knight. But before we're diving into all of that, we're first quickly gonna check out today's video sponsor, Awesome. These sponsorships help keep the channel going, and your support is always greatly appreciated. For some reason, my boss doesn't really like it when I play MapleStory during work. I know, weird right? But I still want to complete those dailies and get those login rewards. Thankfully, I never miss a beat with this all-in-one remote access tool. Using the Awesome Game version, I can get and customize a game keyboard so I can play MapleStory from my phone without any disturbances. And of course, the usability doesn't just end there. You can also use remote access to transfer files that you forgot to send, or even turn off your PC in case you want to save money on that electricity bill. If you want to try this out yourself, you can use the code appearing on the screen to get a 7-day trial of Awesome Remote Game. This is only for the first 200 people, so act quickly. Head over to the Awesome website, sign in, click on rewards, fill out the code and then you're in. You can then easily set up your screen mirroring with your QR code, and once that ends, just using the app will reward you with Sunshine, which can be used to get more days of Awesome Game or Awesome Pro. Sometimes Awesome also offers additional days for free just like that, so that's always nice to grab. The basic version of Awesome is free by the way, so you can always install that one. But there also is the Pro and Game plan. I'm using the Game plan myself for a customizable keyboard. Adding more devices also will give you a discount on the plan. But Awesome doesn't just offer remote software, they even have remote switches. In case you turned off your PC and want to turn it back on remotely or monitor your energy consumption, you can even set timers and schedules. You can check the Awesome app or website if you want to learn more about those, and of course the remote software tool itself. There is a link in the video description and top comment. Don't forget to check out the code, and now back to the video. We're starting this one off with the Nightwalker, the Night of Sickness Thief. Nightwalkers, their origin skill is called Silence. When activated, it attacks 8 times, dealing 6000% damage 8 times, and after that for 30 seconds, when attacking, you'll form 3 giant shadow stars that deal 2700% damage 4 times every 3 seconds. By the way, I don't think I've mentioned this yet, or maybe not enough, but all origin skills have a 6-minute cooldown and classes are invincible during the cast animation, and all origin skills bind the boss. There is a special bind timer that is separate from the regular bind skills when you bind with your origin skill. The 4 job skill that gets enhanced with their 6 job mastery skill is Quintuple Throw, which is always great, it's their main bossing attack. In general, the Korean MapleStory players seem to dislike origin skills that don't deal all their damage in one go. So for example, with the Silence skill, players have to keep attacking for 30 seconds to get the most out of their temporary damage buff. So if you have to dodge boss attacks or die or the boss runs away, it means you lose out on some of your important damage during this small 30-second window. Because of this, the Nightwalkers were a little bit dissatisfied with their origin skill. It ain't giga bad or anything like that, but it could have been better. But on the contrary though, their 5th job skill enhancements are pretty great. Shadow Spear and Rapid Throw get that 60% final damage increase like every other class, but Shadow Servant gets some other changes, as this is more of a summon. Instead of only dealing 50% of your final damage, this clone will deal 85% final damage at max level of the 6th job enhancement, and it will also last for 55 seconds instead of 42. The skill has a 60-second cooldown, so that means you'll have almost unlimited uptime once you max out your 6 job buffs for this skill. That's pretty sick. And also their Shadow Bind will of course get a 60% final damage increase, but it ain't just stopping there. Whenever an enemy dies by the Shadow Bind, Nightwalkers get a 2% final damage buff. The max level 6 job enhancement buffs this to 6% more final damage per monster, and the final damage boost when attacking boss monsters gets increased from 16% to 20%. Plus the cooldown of the skill is lowered from 15 seconds to 10 seconds. This might be pretty nice for Nightwalkers who are using this skill to bite farm. So overall, the Nightwalkers were a little bit dissatisfied with the way their origin skill works, but I don't see any other complaints otherwise. Next up is another Night of Sickness class, the Wind Archer. This video still shows the older animation by the way, this one got slightly reworked to also include the character model. Wind Archer's origin skill is called Mistral Spring, which when used 9 attacks dealing 2400% damage 10 times will pop out. Then for 20 seconds a spring is created that attacks enemies. This spring can create 3 different spirit energies, all dealing different amounts of damage. However, they seem to be pretty damn strong. Overall, the Wind Archer mains were quite happy with the skill. It got buffed quite a bit when it was released into the live server. It isn't a big burst skill, but then again, Wind Archers aren't exactly a big burst class anyway. They can also relocate the skill at a different location in case the boss moves, so you don't lose out on too much damage either. Wind Archer's Mastery Core increases Song of Heaven, and no sorry, you still can't walk with this skill. It just deals more damage, but the main kicker for this class are also the 5th job skill enhancement, especially for Gale Barrier, which not only has its final damaging buffed by 60%, at max level of course. This 5th job skill will give you 300 elements when you use it, and every element will tank 1% of your max HP. So it's a shield that can take 300% damage, lasting for 45 seconds. With the maxed out 6th job enhancement, this skill gets 400 elements. You can tank 4 full HP bars when the skill is active, and it will make the skill last for 60 seconds, so you're only taking in damage for 30 seconds after the skill ends before you can use it again. Basically making this class one of the tankiest classes in the game thanks to this 5th job skill enhancement. Wind Archers were quite happy with that from what I could tell. Next up, let's talk about one of the Explorer Thieves, the Shadower. The Korean Shadowers were very happy with their 6th job origin skill, Mastery Core and 5th job boosts. I think the Shadower is the textbook example of what Maple is expected from their 6th job skills. Their origin skill, Resolute Strike, is a big fat damage button. When activated, they deal 5 strikes that each deal 6300% damage 6 times, and then another 5 strikes that deals 7200% strikes 6 times, and then the 8th strike that deals 8400% damage 7 times. No 30-second buff, no special effects, nothing like that, just boom, a ton of damage, and the animation is quite short, which is also really nice. Shadower's Mastery Core enhances their main bossing skill, Assassinate. Besides the additional damage, the skill itself also gets enhanced. Every 10 seconds, your Assassinate will be buffed and changed into Pulverize, dealing even more damage, and that isn't all of it. If you're using Smokescreen, you'll gain 3 charges of Pulverize. When you use your Veil of Shadows, your hyper skill attack, you'll gain another 2 uses, and then if you're inside the Smokescreen for 3 seconds, you'll gain another charge. You can have a maximum of 5 charges ready for this skill. So not only does the enhanced skill deal more damage, there also is a lot of synergy with your other skills. And even when you use Pulverize, you'll go straight into Dark Side for 6 seconds. It's a really good buff to Assassinate. Way better than what some of the other classes are getting actually. And the wins just don't end there for Shadower, as also their 5th job skill, Shadow Assault, gets additional benefits from their 6th job skill enhancements. Normally the skill has 4 charges and a cooldown of 60 seconds, but at the max level 6th job enhancement this cooldown is reduced from 60 to 50 seconds and you'll get 6 charges instead of 4. Plus of course the final damage is increased by 60% like with all other 5th job skill enhancements. Huge wins for the Shadowers, players are very happy with this. Enough though with all the edgy characters, what are the Lara players thinking of their 6th job skills? When looking through the Lara Invent post, I didn't see any lay down and do nothing meme posts, which is usually a good indication of whether people are happy. Unlike some other classes like Dark Knight and Paladin, but Paladin is for the next video. Lara, her origin skill is called Blooming Flower World and it does a huge chunk of damage. There are 2 parts of this attack. First, Lara dishes out 2 attacks that deal 8400% damage 7 times. Then another 10 attacks that deal 10,800% damage 14 times. This is all basically in one big giant cutscene. It's nicely compressed and deals a huge amount of damage. No complaints about this, it's really good, it's very powerful. The Lara mains did have some issues with the first skill that was chosen to be boosted by their 6th job Mastery Core, because this core buffs Spirit Sprinkle, which also buffs the passive of your little mountain friends popping up. However, this is more of a filler skill and boosting either Eruption or Absorption would have been so much nicer. However though, this definitely ain't the end of the world as more skills will be buffed and added to the 6th job system over time. So overall the Korean Laras are pretty happy. And the final class of this video is the Dark Knight. And the Korean boards are kinda in shambles. It looks like the Korean Dark Knights are not happy. But it seems to be more of a general complaints about the class and nothing too 6th job specific. Lots of lie down and do nothing until your class gets fixed. The posts are there. Dark Knight's origin skill is called Dead Space, which when activated strikes twice, dealing 3000% damage for 6 times. And then hits again 10 times for 4800% damage 14 times. A lot of compressed damage, which again is pretty nice. No special effects activate when you use this origin skill. I didn't read a lot of complaints about this skill. There must be skill buffs gone near descent, increasing the damage. The damage buff based on your max HP also increases from 110% to 120%, and instead of having a passive 30% IAD, it gets a passive 40% IAD, all at max level of course. Besides that, all their 5th job skills get that fat 60% final damage buff from their 5th job enhancement course. Overall, the Dark Knight got a solid 6th job, and I didn't read too many complaints about anything really. Just a lot of complaints about the class in general though. That's all I had for today. Next we're going to be checking out the Paladin, Buccaneer, Thunderbreaker, Dawn Warrior and Mechanic, so stay tuned for that one. Which class should we check out in the video after that? Let me know in the comments. Many thanks for watching, and as always, special thanks to our members for making these videos possible. Special thanks to Niels de Coninck, Raar maar waar, Sebastian Hanoy, Jesus Rodriguez, Kaudi Mora, Wiley, Riser Are BackSpaceOTI, Ziggy Deer, Historycanon, Saffronyx, Flidiot, Knifesu, Cloudfix, Sir Tito 655, Michael Menchaca, Ryalias, Afterlord, Betrayal 1489, Silvio Nato, Striker Elk, Tidal 1 Fun, Victor Sundstrom, Mathias Simonsson, Mr. Anark, Ben on Games, The Passenger, Kani Wu, Max Bernhardt, Mukau 1017, BNB King, Scotty Flies Fast, Gabriel Eck, Fecko, Vake Botnet, Dante Victory, Mathinu Def, Snack, HBG, Only, Lord Vasil, Spats the Kaiser, That Archie Guy, Louis Bento Brandau, Snuffle Pop, Tails Curspet, The Wolf Drake, Gaber Wolf, Live Love, MapleStory, Kali, Duckfoos, Quinn, Migu and Sir Otter. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay safe and happy mapling!